Alright, it is Wednesday, 9:25 a.m., 5 minutes till the market open. Look forward to today. Just a little anxiety, but, GMER, this is going to be, I guess, a potential morning spike. If it decides to do it, it could do a panic, but since it did break out over this 25-ish level, right, if we look at a 15-day chart, it could do some kind of a run up. You might say, maybe this is the more important level here at 23. So potential morning spike. I wouldn't really go for a morning panic because this is technically the second day, even though it's up from 20. Oh, okay, 2.7. Well, not. Yeah, 2.7 cents. Okay, that that threw me off for a moment. Yeah, probably not a morning panic bounce play. I might consider it here with LWLG. If it decides to do it, it does do it. It's just, it's a bit iffy trying to find the bottom on these. APTY might be a morning panic bounce play too, but this one doesn't trade with that much volatility. I mean, I guess it does. It's not really that bad, but it's just gonna be a watch really. It could be a morning panic bounce play potential. MWWC is a new one. I'd like to see it run today. This one might do a spike, maybe a fall. Ideally, if it can run today, it could be a potential morning panic bounce play setup in the future. It did have a big wick yesterday, so I'm just gonna keep that one on watch. After all, that's why you call this a watch list. DPLS could be a morning panic bounce play as well. This one, I guess, offers a bit more range, but this one tends to be a little strange, a little choppy. NLST could also be a morning panic bounce play, so that's where I'm at. 3 minutes till the market open. I'm gonna try these setups, at least in theory, if they look really good. Alright, it is 9:38. I had a morning panic bounce play trade here with NLST. I think I really did a lot better being more patient on this setup. I was not able to get the best entry. I probably should have been just a little more patient because it did crack this 450 level, which if you look back, I guess playing off of here wasn't really that bad, but it did get a little lower than where I was in initially, and I sold at 6.5, just right under VWAP, because a lot of these morning panic bounce plays with APTY here, a higher priced stock, as well as LWLG, they tend to not really work that well. So I just took a sell there at 6.5. Originally I just had an order sitting at 6.8, which was at the time at the VWAP level, but that didn't happen, so I sold at 6.5. And I held this one a lot better. I bought at 9.33, which in theory was a bit early. Sure, I mean, it was at this bottom right candle here, and there wasn't like a big obvious volume candle, but I went ahead and I bought at 456.5, which is right here. Had I waited just a little more, I was kind of risking off of this level, give or take, but I knew it wasn't going to be perfect, and that's what happened. I tried buying again at 447, which would have been right here at 9.34. I did not get executed, unfortunately. That would have been pretty nice if I had another one right there, risking off of this level right here, like absolutely, because it's under that 450 level. And then I placed that order at 468 and 9.34, and it just sat there because I was just waiting for it to potentially uptrend towards that VWAP level. And then once we had this spike right here, this peak, I thought, okay, this might be a level of resistance. I put a sell at 465. I did get executed eventually. Excuse me. And yeah, this is better. I mean, I held this one for, it felt like I held for longer, but this was 4 minutes of holding, 9.33 to 9.37. It was just a small profit, small percent gain. Could have gone to entry in the 40s. But let's see, this one could still work out. I guess it could put up a higher low here, and then I'll eventually get through V1, but I don't mind missing through that, because that, this could have made a lower low at, very easily. So I don't regret that sell at all. Again, I sold at, what was it, 936? Was this candle right here, 465? There was still more opportunity to get out. Would have helped if I got in at 47 right here, 447, but I didn't. Again, that's fine. Haven't really looked at the others. I'll take a look at them. DPLS could be a morning panic bounce play, but I might be too late to this one. I'll make an update later. There still might be some more trades available. Alright, the price action here isn't perfect, and in theory I probably already missed the entry. If I wanted to take a trade, I could have bought and then risk off of this wick here, but I don't know. This one doesn't really trade that nicely. It's not too far from VWAP, so there is a little bit of range, but it could be better. I mean, 11.7 right now to 12.3. And there's no big obvious volume candle. There is like a lot of volume in general, and if it starts downtrending, that could signify, you know, a potential chance that it's going to uptrend. So I'm gonna say in theory this one is probably gonna work out, even though it doesn't look very clean, just because of the fact that volume is fading. But I feel like I should have been in at this 1.6 something level instead of the 1.8. It doesn't have to work out. This one isn't, again, very clean, but that's the idea there. In theory, I could be in that trade, but you know, I'm not. APTY, this one was obvious in that we had that big volume candle, 934. Also, one thing to know with NLST, you know, I was really tempted to buy at 932, but I didn't, because I remember that a lot of these, you know, it should at least drop, like it should at least get to 933. If it only drops in like 2 minutes, that's not really that nice. And right now it is at 455. If it tries to hold itself, maybe put up a higher low here somewhere, it could move up again, but I'm not really interested in trading that, just because it is a higher priced stock. They're not really perfect. Sketchy wick here action right here at 111.9. Oh, so yeah, back with where was it? APTY. This one worked. Big volume candle. Had I have seen this, I might have considered it. Kind of sketchy because it broke down, broke under that 189 level. Yeah, kind of sketchy because it broke out. It broke under that breakout level. I guess not 189, but you know, more like 186. But you know, that could be like that kind of max panic type of price action. Lots of volume traded here. Probably would have been interested in getting in at 183. Only issue is that VWAP was not really that far. It really wasn't that far, but maybe this one worked out in that sense. LWLG might try to panic again. GMER, I was going for a morning spike, but I'll tell you, it's the price, not even the price action. E-Trade just looks, it looks so strange because it starts off with like a tiny candle, and then it becomes like a big candle, and then it goes back to a tiny candle, and that kind of throws me off. But this one worked out. I just did not really like how jumpy it was. This candle here just kept bouncing back and forth, but it did have a spike from that 27 level to 32, 33. That was a lot of range. I just have to get better with that. I have the least amount of experience with this. It's pretty much morning panic bounce plays, and then first dip towards the VWAP, and then high day breakouts, and then this morning spikes I have like the least amount of experience with. And MWWC, this one is running today. I wouldn't have really traded it for a morning panic bounce play, maybe if I saw this, because it does look kind of clean, and it does trade like back and forth here, consolidating, showing that it could hold or at least provide a good risk level. An entry at 138, and you risk, you know, 135. Although VWAP was not very far away, it did work out here. There wasn't no big obvious volume candle like APTY, but that one could have worked in theory. You know, an entry here at 184, you risk 178 or 179, or maybe just risk the 180 level, right? And if you do 3-to-1 risk reward in that 183, you risk, I guess, 3 ticks, so you're going for at least, you know, 9. Did it get to at least 9? Yeah, I got to 192. which was a little higher than VWAP. So I'm just trying to work on, you know, trading more setups. This could be a lower low setup with NLST. I'll make an update later. Alright, it's 9:54. I was probably being a little too nitpicky trying to get an entry, but I don't mind missing this one just because I just wanted to get a good entry. I'm not sure from when the last recording was, but I had a chance to get in the 30s right here. Probably should have jumped in there, but again, I was probably just being too picky because, you know, in theory I get in at 38 and then I risk 31, which is 7, so 3-to-1 risk reward. Can it get to 59? Absolutely, because that's VWAP. I should have taken the trade there. I don't regret not trading it or taking an entry anywhere after that, but I probably should have taken it here. The only issue is that sometimes when it's like in a second candle downtrend, you take an entry, it just keeps downtrending. So I was kind of worried about that, but we did have that big volume, in theory, big volume candle right here. So yeah, I don't regret not trading it anywhere here, but here I probably shouldn't have been so picky. It is working out, and I know these things that are higher priced are not really perfect morning panic bounce plate setups, just because they tend to trade a little choppy. But this one actually really was not that bad at all. So yeah, that's what I think about this. Could have taken a trade there. Right now I am looking at a dip towards VWAP with DPLS and MWWC. That's what I have in theory. This one is starting to downtrend, but it might just be a small hiccup. But that's the idea right now. Nothing I want to do here with Gamer. LWLG, this one traded a bit weird here. Nothing I want to do with it. APTY could be a higher low or a lower low setup. If it just holds VWAP, I'll let it go. I think that's, I don't really want to trade off of that, you know, because I only trade first dip towards VWAP setups on stocks that are uptrending. This one is down on the day, so it's not really the same. NLST got to 455. Is that the most they can do? Could be an inverse head and shoulders, but this ideally would have spiked towards VWAP. That's where I'm at. I'll just be watching those two other stocks for first dip towards VWAP setups. Alright, it is 10:12. This was the dip towards VWAP. This was extremely hard, and I did not get executed. Did not get in the trade. I don't even think, yeah, I didn't place an order here either. I did trade MJWL before looking at this, but the dip was very quick, and it wasn't just quick. There was a spread, so it was 181 at the bid and 187 at the ask, so that would have been pretty hard if you were to have an order already sitting there to be executed. If it dips towards VWAP, what if it dips under VWAP? So that was a good attempt, just trying to trade it. Didn't trade it, and that's totally fine. Now it's trading a bit strange, but in theory it could continue a run up. You know, if anything, just 3-to-1 risk reward. So that's the case there. MJWL was failed. Well, when I traded it, but you know, it worked out. It was a failed morning panic bounce play lower low. This is a lower low, and took a small position because it was speculative, because it wasn't trading too nicely here. But here was the idea at 10:01 right here. I took a buy, and I was risking off of this wick right here at 182, and I got executed at 1826. So right at the top of this red candle, again, just risking this one right here. And it didn't work out. It just it broke under it. As you can tell, it kind of had a bit of a gap down, so it wasn't you know, it wasn't nice. It immediately cut losses, you know, 10:02, because of the fact that it broke under that wick level right here. The percent loss was actually kind of bad, but you know, I did trade in small I did trade a small position. It eventually turned around, but it took much longer. It got as low as 16. I guess in theory, I don't know if I would have done that either, because you know, you buy at 1709. I don't know if I would risk that. Maybe I would risk this 16.9 level. But in theory, it is doing it here, right? It could get towards VWAP, but this one is not really perfect. It doesn't trade. It trades a little dirty. It's not as clean, so that is something to take into consideration. But this could work out. I need to do a screenshot for this one. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Just missed that first tip towards VWAP setup with MWWC just because it was a bit too quick. It doesn't seem like it's doing much of an uptrend either. DPLS is still at its highs. It actually just broke this level. I didn't see this. That's pretty nice. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll make an update later. Alright, it's 10:36. I was looking at AMC for inverse head and shoulders. I knew it wasn't going to be a perfect setup because it's a downtrending inverse head and shoulders, but it wasn't too bad to consider. My idea was that, okay, I could take a trade, into this thing, but it's probably going to crack 40 again. What do you know? It cracks 40 here, right? It cracked 40 here, but this was like in the last few seconds of that minute. And then it cracks 40 here. Immediately cracks 40. Lots of screaming buying happened and pushed it as high as 44. What is this? 44.84, and this thing could totally touch VWAP. So that's pretty amazing. As for the others, NLST, nothing I want to trade. APTY, nope. This one's nice. Maybe a dip towards VWAP, although it kind of gives me head and shoulders vibes. So just be a watch, really. And NWWC, it looks like it had a dip under VWAP, and that one would have worked out, but I was not there when that happened. And GMER is nothing I want to look at either. So that's all. I guess just a wash DPLS, I guess, for a dip towards VWAP. Besides that, I got nothing else I want to trade. Alright, it is 11:05 a.m. I had one trade with AMC. This is what I called, and I haven't traded one of these in a while. This is back when I was still looking at NASDAQ plays, and I haven't really gotten into OTC plays, but this is called the inverse head and shoulder second higher low setup. Shoulder, head, shoulder, and then this is the second higher low, first higher low, second higher low. Also VWAP as a level of support. I could have done better with my entry, but I bought at 1057 right here at 45.24, which was down here 24. For a moment we were at 45 flat, and we did get under it a little bit, but there was a lot of people supporting it. This thing could consolidate a little here and continue an uptrend, but anyway, I did really well holding this better. I bought at 1057 and I sold at 11:04, which that's 7 minutes. I mean, that's a lot better holding. And of course, I sold as soon as the price action started to change. It's doing it now where it kind of held this level right here, and maybe it can try to crack this 81 level. It's doing it right now. That's cool. It looks like it might try to run towards 46, although there might be a wall of sellers there. It's still doing it. Shorts are definitely being squeezed here. It's at 90. I don't know if it'll get to 46, but this is nice. There's definitely a lot of volume here. Well, not really, but it's definitely a lot of price action. Okay, it could get to 46, but I don't know if it might just uptrend towards that level, but I would not be surprised if it doesn't, although it totally can get to 46. In comparison, my sell was at 64, which was kind of like the highs of this range right here. Right, just didn't want to not sell and then have to sell on a downtrend if it fails. So this one is still doing it. It got as high as 93. Could have gotten better. I could have done better with my entry, but it was looking like it was trying to turn around here. Volume is low, which means there's less opportunity for it to downtrend, just because like right here you see this max panic, big volume right here. Low volume, you see the low volume, it's not downtrending, and then it spikes. So This thing could totally get to 46. I could have done better with my entry again. I could have gotten something around 45 flat, or maybe like 45.15. That wouldn't have been so bad. Sure, it's just 10 pennies, but you know, I had to try. And the percent gain wasn't that much. It was just under 1%. I mean, it's a $40 stock, so that's where I'm at. I'm probably gonna run on the treadmill for a little bit. And I'll make an update and see what happens later. NLST nothing, APTY nothing, LWLG nothing, although it did come back. It just trades ugly. Nothing here. DPLS, I was looking at this head and shoulders. It looks like it did it. This could be, I was looking at AMC, but this could have been a buy right here because it's the shoulder, head, shoulder, downtrends, and then, you know, it holds very nicely at 15.25. It could try to crack this level. I've seen uptrending head and shoulders just all the time, but you know, I would have missed my entry by now. So I'll make an update later to see how DPLS and AMC does. After that, I'll probably you know, I'll probably not look at the markets until later in the afternoon, perhaps. Alright, it is 4:48 p.m. and I'm just here to call it off. I don't remember when the last time was that I made an update, but I'm just here to call it off. And it looks like MWWC had a panic. I don't know if I would have traded this. You know, the big volume candle is, let me get rid of extended hours. Yeah, that would have been hard because that would have been a big volume candle, and then it breaks the range, and then it holds here. I don't know if I would have been a part of the trade or not. It was also in the afternoon, but you know, in theory, this provided a move. What was it, from 11.4 to 14? So that's not really that bad at all in terms of range. This was an inverse head and shoulders. I wasn't here when this was happening. Otherwise, I would have considered it, especially because it pretty much held the same level. Now, this part didn't spike very high, but it is along with the rest of the range here, so I would have totally taken that inverse head and shoulders. Not horrible range either. So that's pretty nice. DPLS, it looks like it just downtrended. Not very strong. I mean, it did break this level at 8.5. It got to as high as 16, so that's nice in that sense. I can't really hate it for that reason. I will look forward to this being a morning panic bounce play potential. Looks like it's a bit kind of iffy to trade, but I'll keep that in mind. LWLG came back. It's uptrending, but very, you know, very choppy way. APTY. This could make a morning panic bounce play. It's a great chance for that. Although I don't like how it trades after the morning. NLST, this is a nice run up it did later in the day. It's trying to catch up. That's pretty cool. This will be a morning panic bounce play potential as well. I mean, I traded this one not perfectly, but yeah. GMER looks like it ran towards the rest of the day too. This is nice. I remembered it looking like just trash, but you know, there was a dip towards VWAP here. I wasn't here anymore at that point. That's pretty good. This could be a morning panic bounce play setup too if it can run one more day. So that's where I'm at. I'm up like, I don't know, $7 or $8. Could have traded NLST better. Could have gone 4 cents better, which would have helped. Let me organize this by time. Yeah, I just could have gotten better. I could have gone at the 440s level. That would have helped greatly. MJWL, that was just a bad setup, honestly, because it was trading, you know, all choppy. This thing isn't known to have good volatility. It was a good try, I think, but yeah, it was somewhere around here. It eventually bottomed here, and then it got a little higher, but you know, it wasn't really a nice move until you'd look at this. And here, I don't know if I would have considered it. I just wasn't there when they did that. So that's all I got. I had how many trades? I had 1, 2, 3 trades. 2 of them were profitable. 1 was not. This one just didn't work out. The setup wasn't good. AMC is at 45 at the close. It's at 44.38 after hours. This was the setup right here, right? No, it was right here. Yeah, it was right here. The inverse head and shoulder second higher low. You know, it did get as high as what? It didn't get to 46, but it got close. And then I guess you could call this the real inverse head and shoulder second higher low. You know, that's how choppy listed stocks can be. In that case, it went from 44 to 46. I guess my sell really wasn't that bad in the 60s, right? 45.64. So right here, you know, it did break past it eventually, but that was a good attempt. So, you know, not really that bad. One thing I can be happy to say is just I held these a lot better. Now, I don't mean holding like something that's not working out. I mean just holding the trade longer, letting it work. In this case, you know, I held until it cracked the day low, so I held as long as I had to there. And then here with AMC, I was a bit patient. I could have gotten a better entry. Same with NOST, but I held a lot better. Here I held what? You know, 7 minutes, and here I held just 3 minutes. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm just gonna call it off. You know, kind of weird. Yesterday my entries were great. Bad exits today. My entries were not as good. I had much better exits. So again, 3 trades, 2 were, you know, good. Could have done better entries. And MJW, well, it wasn't really a bad entry. It was just a trade that didn't work out. I had to cut losses there.